ditch lights that I just added to my Bronco 22 Badlands, no Sasquatch package. And basically I was looking and it's got these two screws in the side mirror mount, I guess. And they say accessory ready. You can see I use the outside ones. Basically, I just went to my local Harbor Freight and picked up their cheapest lights. These are, I believe, $19.99 plus tax. And here are the boxes. There's the box of both of them. They come individually, so you think you're paying 20 for two. It's actually 20 for one, but it's still super cheap. And you do have to just wire them yourself. They do come with, where did I put it? Like, it's got connectors on them. I just cut them off. Basically, I went on Amazon and bought this roll. It's 100 feet of positive and negative linked together. Just makes it easier, less messy, I find. It was like $12. 14 gauge. I don't like going smaller than that. And that was actually, I believe, the wire size that was on these as well was 14 gauge. And basically what I did is just routed the wire through there. You don't have to open your door, but it makes it a little easier to run it through there. It's got like a foot of wire, and then I just clipped the connector off. And I don't know if we can see it. No, it's too short on that side. But I just soldered them together. I don't like using butt connectors. I don't think that's good enough of a joint. So I solder everything that I can and then use heat shrink. I got these on Amazon too. It's just, there's a box of connectors, which I don't use the butt connectors, but like when I'm doing a ground and I have to attach it to a nut, these can be helpful. And I actually, I'll squeeze the butt connector tight, but I also solder the wire end onto the metal loop at the end as well. And it came with some nice little zip ties and heat shrink. There's red and black. I think that was like $7.99. And then I also got this box of a bunch of different sizes and colors of heat shrink. I think that was like $7.99 or something too. Super nice. And so what I did is for the passenger side, if you just run it through that little gap that I showed, earlier, it comes out right there. And then I just go behind the overflow radiator tank. And once you go under that big wire box, that black felt kind of comes back a little bit, and you can just see a little bit of it. I tucked it behind there, and then it goes under, I don't know what that is off the top of my head, probably AC line or something. But you can kind of see the wire just barely poking out, but I tucked it behind there and looped it around. And this is some of my trailer wiring too, but I kind of followed, that's the hood opener latch, I believe, and came around here. Now, I was lucky, because this is Badlands, it has the optional auxiliary switch block, whatever it's called. It's the 6 switches that you see up there. They come pre-wired, they say, but if you don't have it, what it means is in this fuse box, sorry, I'm gonna do this one-handed, trying to hold my phone and light and everything. They've got fuses that go to that box. So this one, this 10 right here is 65, that's switch 6. This one is switch 5, which I have the ditch lights to. This is 4. This is for my trailer power, because I wanted a cutoff switch just from some past experiences. Like there's the whatchamacallit for the power wire that it runs through for the trailer power wire for my 7-pin that I added. There's the driver's side one. I did the same thing. I routed it through the little hole. Let's see, right there. Oop, right there. And it just comes out the side, down back there. I think you can see, yeah. And now, so I routed the power, I use this for the ground. I'm actually using it for my, make sure you can see what I'm looking at. That's a ground that Ford used there. And then I just tucked the ground wires behind it with the O-rings. Unfortunately, they were too small for that bolt to go through, so they're unfortunately just put behind there, and then I tighten it down to hold them in. I've done that many times, never had an issue, knock on wood. But I know that's not the right way to do it, and I do need to eventually fix that so they have the right size hole or ring so I can run them through the bolt so they're like fully sealed tight on there. But going back to this, so if I was using switch 6, it would be that 10 there. This is switch 5, which I have the ditch lights running off of. This is 4 for my trailer. There's a few other, I think one of these is 3, and then there's 4 10s, switches 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are 10 amp fuses. And then 2, I think, is a 20, and then 1 is like a 40 or a 30. So since these are just lights, I just want to use the 10s and save the big ones for something else. But basically, to run both lights, what I did is instead of running another power wire and ground wire, I just cut, sorry, I don't know if you can see the heat shrink there. Basically, I cut that first power wire and then took the power and ground wire of the other one and twisted them together and soldered them together and then put heat shrink over it. And you can see I'm not the best at doing it, but there it is. There's the heat shrink. And so here you've got, I tried to tuck it away, but you can see there's 2 going into 1 on there. Hopefully you can tell there's the passenger side wire. Let me see if I can do this. You can actually see. This is the passenger side wire, and then you've got the driver's side, and they both come together on here. And you know what? Let me see if I can show you how I do that. So every time that I solder, I've got this little bag of extra wires that I'm starting. So when I solder, put this down, I turn it into I spread it into 2 sets of wires together. And then if you make sure you can see this. If you bring them together where there's 2 sets, I kind of feed them into each other, and then you twist them together. And that makes a really good, it holds together good until you can solder over it. And I did that, and I just put a 3rd one in there and twisted them all together. And so I didn't have 2 feet of wire for the driver's light. Let's see, put that away. I didn't want this to be a long video. So yeah, that's what I did for running the lights. Oh, I should probably turn them on so you can see them. I guess the auxiliary box only works if the accessory thing is on, so it's on, what did I say, 5? No, 6, I think. Nothing. But if I turn on the power, oh no, it's on 5. Oh, that's right, because I saved 6 for my fog lights. So that's the ditch lights. Because, and I did this because I was camping last weekend, towing my trailer down this rough trail, and I realized whenever I had to turn more than just like a little bit, if I had to do kind of a harder turn, I could not see shit in front of me at night. This one has the optional modular bumper, and it doesn't come with freaking fog lights, which pissed me off. I do have fog lights that I'm going to put in there too, but basically I put these on there just so I could actually see when I was turning. I didn't really have an issue with the amount of brightness otherwise driving with these, but I just kind of, whenever I was at Harbor Freight, I saw these bigger ones, where is it? And just thought that they would fit in the fog light holes pretty well. And I think these were $24.99 instead of $19.99. And I tested them on just a 9-volt, and they were pretty freaking bright. I think these are going to be brighter than those ones with 4. I mean, it makes sense. This has 6 LEDs instead of 4. But I'm going to hook those up, and I'm going to run them off the same switch. So when I turn on the ditch lights, it'll turn these on as well. Obviously, that's for off-road only. They are too bright and pointed right at people. You cannot use them in the street. Actually, I believe most states have a law that has like a max lumen of how much your total lights can be on the street. And if you go over that, you can get a ticket. So please don't use your off-road lights on the street. It blinds us and we hate it. But what I am going to add eventually is some ambers so that I do have some kind of fog lights. And I'm either going to try to tuck them on the side here, on the other side of the fogs, or more than likely what I'll do is I'll just mount them up here. And what I'm finding is all these lights come with a little mount. Oh yeah, here's the one for those longer ones I just showed you. And, you know, if you have this modular bumper, like, look, it's got all these bolts all here. Like, I'll probably just use the bolt and just mount it right here. I'm not going to buy mounts. I'm not going to pay a bunch of money for expensive plug-and-play stuff when I can just wire it myself easy. Yes, the lights will probably be a better quality and last a little longer. Not too worried about it because I'm not going to use them that often. And if they do fail pretty quick, I'll probably spend the money to get some slightly better ones. But again, I'm not going to pay for the mounts and everything if I can just use that to do it. You know, those, to me at least, look just like every other car's ditch lights that I've seen. And I didn't have to buy mounts or do anything. Just took the screw out. Oh, I did use a dab of blue Loctite, wherever I put it. Usually leave it right there. Yeah, right there. I did use just a tiny bit of blue Loctite. On stuff like this, I like to do that, just a little bit of blue, so you can, it'll hold it, but it'll come off a lot easier. You know, you're not building an engine. You don't need to use red Loctite. But I like the blue stuff. And honestly, this little bottle has lasted me like a couple of years, and it still has some in it. I think that's all I wanted to go over, so I don't make a super long video. Oh, and I did put the blow-off valve spacer on, so every time I shift, when I let off the gas to shift, because it's a manual, it makes the whoosh sound, which I love. It's childish, but I love it. And it's cool because with these, that's literally all you have to do. Basically, this is a solenoid with a piston in the middle. They're all electronically controlled now. They're not vacuum controlled anymore, which is no fun. Because you, on the wastegate one, at least on the turbo, you used to be able to tighten those. And that basically puts extra pressure on the spring. And so if it's like a 15-pound spring, it turns into a 16 or 17, and you could actually get a little bit of extra boost. I did that on my 2.0 Escape. But these are all electronically controlled by the computer, so they control the level of boost, unlike it used to be with the vacuum and the springs, all manually in the past. But anyways, this is all you have to do. I got it on eBay or Amazon for 20 bucks. It's literally 3 screws. Be careful though, because the screws they sent me did not fit. They seemed like they fit, but they were not quite big enough. They were the wrong thread. Now, I got one that was supposedly good for the Mustang and the Bronco and a few others, and I think that's why. So I should have spent the $25 instead of the $20 and got one very specifically for the 2.3. I think that's why. Luckily, I had other screws that work. I have a crap ton of extra hardware left from all kinds of stuff. But they are very weird threads, and you won't just find them easily at like Home Depot and stuff. Okay, that's it. This is way too long already.